line between winning and losing in games like that, is there something that sticks to mind as to what would make that margin go against you?
Oh, I think it's pretty clear about the margin. Melbourne were well and truly good enough to convert their opportunities, and we did a lot of things right tonight, but we didn't win the game, and that's what it comes down to when you see Melbourne kick an expected score at plus 33, and we go -8. That's footy. That's what happens in two really good teams playing a really strong game of football all night, and I'm sure Goody and the Melbourne boys would be pretty proud of their effort to come over and do what they did, but they were able to execute when the moments got big.
So the 13-11, have you been able to break down if it's missed shots or shots taken in positions where they're going to be more difficult? How do you break down the 13-11?
Our execution wasn't terrible. I just think the quality of their execution was off the charts a bit. Given,
I guess, defence has been such a big focus in pre-season, what have you made of, I guess, how the back line's been going so far? And do you feel like you're on top of that issue at the moment?
Yeah, I think, well, we're not perfect, clearly, because we got beat tonight and gave up a score with, 46 or whatever it was entries. So we gave up too big a score, but again, it goes back to some of the conversion. They took some shots from tough spots. Not good enough to put them through the goals, but no, it's not perfect, clearly, and we're looking for little improvements. We get a check tonight. We get an absolute check on our game tonight against quality team.
Do you feel like you learnt a fair bit about where the team's at after tonight?
Well, I think we learn exactly what this game is like. It's when you come up against the really good teams, you've got to get every. You can't get every moment right. You've got to get a lot of moments right, and I think that's important for us to understand. And we know that. I think we know that, but we'll review the game with a really fine lens on where those moments appeared, and we won't be overcritical because we put ourselves in a pretty good spot. A lot of the numbers, and you would be aware of them, a lot of numbers were pretty positive for us. But we lost the game, so we're in the winning and losing business, so it doesn't give you too much joy.
What's your gut feel about those moments, Ken? Is there a gut feel about why you just couldn't get over the line in the end?
I think it's the quality of the game, though. It's what happens, You've got to execute at that level when the pressure's at its highest. I think that's okay to say out loud, and I actually said that to our playing group. We've all got a moment in that game that we feel like we could do it a little bit better. We're a really good team, but if you're going to beat the really good teams, you need some luck, but you also need to make the most of your moments when they come.
When you talked about moments, how's Asava going? I guess after probably a moment he would want back again with the marker on the behind the goal line.
You're identifying one of a number of things. It could be that the boys will be able to look at themselves and say, how did we defend? Because there was 2 goal line balls that we defended, and we probably should have been able to get a better result out of them, but we didn't. We didn't deliberately make those mistakes, but that's what elite performance business says. You've got to get them right.
I guess, given you said, he probably has had a little bit of confidence issues in himself at times, how do you kind of make sure that, because he had a good game outside of that,
We're really fair. Yeah. We're really fair when we review games. We're really honest and we're really fair. We give our players enough confidence to know that they can continue to get better, and that they want to get better. And if they want to do that, there'll be more than a fair review go on for all our players.
What did you do at half time to think about your movement into the inside 50 area? What was your thinking there? Because it became difficult for you certain stages of the first and second quarter. So did you change? What did you think you had to change?
You're playing a high quality defensive team, and they're always going to make it a pretty challenging execution night for you in forward 50. But we needed to do a better job at I go back to the same thing at certain times. We needed to bring balls to ground that they were able to mark. We didn't quite get the contest right all the time in that area of the ground, but that was all over the ground, I think. And I think if we provide that number of entries, we'll give ourselves a chance to kick a score that will win most games, I would think.
How do you regard the challenge Max Gawn presented tonight?
It was a real challenge. He played really well. I mean, everyone calls him the best ruckman in the league. I think that's pretty accurate. He's a good player. But I thought we battled as hard as we could against a high-quality opponent.
How do you think Willem Drew's game tonight?
I thought he was outstanding. I thought probably nearly our best player, if I'm being... After the moment, I'm being honest as I can, I think he was pretty close to our best player out there. I thought he did a great job, took on one of their great players in Viney and did an amazing job early on him.
How's Blakey after that little collision with Soldo?
Yeah, he's fine. We kept him off because he would have had to do a concussion test, and he's just done his concussion test. He's passed that fine. He's actually, once he came off the ground, I think he would have been able to tell he looked pretty right, but it looked like a big hit at one point. But if you look, the main thing is he's passed his concussion test. He seems well, but we'll also assess him as we go through the week.
Before that, I mean, he was having a quite outstanding game in his 351st. I mean, does that really probably still amazes you with what he can do?
Yeah, not so much amazes you, but it's good to see that he's still playing some good footy, which is really important for us, and equally as important to Trav. He doesn't want to just get games. He wants to play games and play them at a high level.
Thanks.